let's talk more about this direct-to-fan model.
Real people and real things and stories.
The whole marketing sphere has shifted.
I think that future's coming.
So, hello, and we are back. We're back. Have we done any episodes this year?
Well, this is probably the second I think we've done.
I think it was on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, sorry. So it has been quite a while.
Yeah.
So we're back with our second episode of 2026. We've got so much to discuss with you. Obviously, there's a lot of crazy things going on right now, and loads of exciting things going on right now. Obviously, I'm B.
Adam?
Adam, go on. Step right into the first subject. What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's address the elephant in the room. There's obviously a lot going on in the world right now. It's quite scary times for a lot of people, and a lot of shocking things you're seeing online. Mm-hmm. And so I think against that backdrop, it's how are artists doing? You know,
Yeah.
what are they up to?
So obviously, when we say elephant in the room, obviously there's a war that's breaking out in the Middle East, and a lot of fear, a lot of people feeling quite anxious and worried, and all the obvious feelings that come with that. So what do artists do during this time? Do they just bunker down and hide away, or do they,
against this backdrop of
this
crazy
tapestry of negativity?
I think sadness, I think pain. The one thing to take away from this is, like, as music, as we know, is as a source of positivity and light and humanity, and that still needs to shine through, even against this backdrop of war and shocking imagery and the things like that. Mm-hmm. But also to try and keep our heads cool as well, because a lot of things you'll see online now are there's a lot of disinformation as well, but with AI, fake content that's designed to scare a lot of people and to entice views and to create engagement, but it's really not doing anyone any good. So how do artists stand out against all of that? And I think I think one thing that's becoming more and more important is having a source of truth, especially when it comes to your art. I mean, if you're telling your story and being your authentic true self, and you're a source of truth, that's a source of content where people can rely on and feel a sense of humanity and a connection to real people and real things and stories. Yeah. And so I think that's ever more important now.
Definitely.
So not to shy away and not to feel like, there's too much going on, but to really shine through some humanity and
like, tell us, as musicians and as artists, I think during these sorts of times, there's usually an explosion of creativity and songwriting, which I would assume will start to come out over the next few months. People get more creative as they're able to, talk about how they're really feeling in these words, or just talking about the backdrop of what's happening behind us, basically. So I expect, like, songwriting will go through the roof. And like Adam said, use your platforms to maybe talk about how you're feeling, talk to your fans, connect with them, be authentic. Live songwriting. Again, we've said this so many times. We've said it across so many different podcasts, haven't we? Mm-hmm. That now is the best time ever to be authentic. Obviously, if you're going to go down the AI route, go down that AI route and fully embrace it. Or use a bit of it. We all use it. I use it to write posts.
But I think where the line is because people are looking for authentic sources of content. So if you're not doing AI, then I would fully invest in being your authentic self, including all the content that's maybe not polished. It's not so perfect, but you're telling your true thing. The backstage stuff or the behind the scenes content, whether it was songwriting, how you got to that track, what inspired the lyrics. I don't think it's like trite or anything to express your true self in this environment and to be that source of truth, because we're gonna need those sites more than ever.
And how do you determine between AI and real content? How can you tell the difference? Because that's really hard.
I think it's having consistency and a narrative that people can connect with, because all the dots join up and you're looking at things that aren't so perfect as well, and not so staged maybe, and not so designed to trigger you or anything like that. It's designed to invite a sense of humanity.
You've hit on something, because I follow, I've recently become a mum again for the second time, and I have a young child. We have a baby, and I actually have gravitated towards influencers, as it were, on Instagram, who are mums talking about the raw, honest story of being a mum of a toddler, or a newborn, and like all of the sort of the ugly bits in between all the nice cute outfits that you put them in and the lovely walks that you might go on together with the pram. And actually I gravitate towards those, like, you know, sat here at 6 a.m. Staring at a wall trying to feed my baby. I find them hilarious, those moments. And it's like, well, why don't you do that as a musician? Actually just sit there and go, have been trying to write a song for the last 6 months and still haven't managed to complete it, and talk about that and why that happens and how normal life gets in the way.
I mean, tell us about the artists you met in India. You've got some stories about their background.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. So I came back from India. So I went to India a couple of weeks ago for International Indian Music Week. And met so many amazing Indian artists out there. Like, for example, Shriva, who is like amazing, basically, and is like a professional dancer, and is about to release her EP, actually, which is R&B. Her voice is incredible. She sings everything in English, which again is just insane. And just, you know, her life is just incredible. And then I met another artist whose parents bought a palace, basically, back in the 90s. She grew up in Ajopur as the only white girl in a class of 30 Indian children from the age of 5, which was just crazy. And you know, her story is just incredible. And there's just so many people that I met who just have these amazing journeys. And India is crazy as well, and really interesting. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing with the story as well is a lot of people, artists, fear their story. Like they shouldn't show the things that might make them look a certain way. And I mean,
you might be, say, if you're an insurance broker by day, a musician by night.
It might seem
actually
really trite and boring.
Document that.
Yeah.
I'll document. I'm about to go into. Obviously, you don't want to slag off your company, but you know, talk about those bits.
Because a lot of, like, they may be faced with the struggle of, like, I want to do this full time. I want to leave my boring
but no one
corporate
gets
job.
to do that.
And they're about to make that jump. They're about to leave, like, wherever it is, and they're about, you know, wish me luck, guys. This is day one, and they'll document the whole thing and the journey, and everyone's like gets bought into it. And I think that narrative over a long time, again, it comes back to story, but consistency and building on it, because that's what people tie into, and that helps overcome a lot of the AI disinformation and content that's designed to trigger, because there's no continuous plot to any of that. It's just it's literally just there to stimulate people. So that's important now more than ever.
That's a really good.
But also that comes back to the building your fan base and community.
Yeah. So we were going to go into this. So we read a really interesting article just this week, actually, about how some people find that Spotify is dead or dying. Most DSPs won't be around in a few years' time, believe it or not. And actually, what's going to be the answer? So what happens if you don't have a Spotify, an Apple, or a Deezer? What happens?
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting is obviously with AI code creation, you can build your own DSPs eventually in the future.
Right.
And so if you have a community of, let's say, the 1,000 fans, the golden 1,000 fan community.
Yeah, talk to me about this 1,000 fans, because I keep hearing 1,000 fans, 1,000 fans.
Well, they always say, well, if it's 1,000 fans that say invested in £100 worth of, say, merch or gig tickets with you across a year, that's 100,000 a year, right? So that might be enough for you to just about survive with another team member and maybe a couple of other people, or well, however your means are, but like it's enough to keep going as an artist. And so that's like the golden number. But rather than going after 1 million and getting very little off each of the fans, you have a smaller community that are really tight knit, they're really engaged, ones that are your friends, and who kind of come to see your shows, come to engage with you, come to backstage, share stories, insights, everything. Yeah, those are the people that are really going to help you actually make a career in this industry. And I think those artists that are savvy to engagement metrics, for example, will know who those fans are.
So I think what we're saying is that we're almost moving. Spotify's tried to sell us this dream of, like, once you get those 1 million streams, you're going to make it, you're going to break it. It's like, you know, that's where it's at. And what we've found is that actually lots of people have got to that point and then haven't even been able to fill their local pub when they've been performing there at the weekend. So I think that narrative has slowly been put in the trash can, basically, and we're moving more towards forget the millions of streams, because they're just more of a vanity metric, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is great. It's all about having 1,000 loyal fans that will direct to fan stream. What does that mean?
Yeah, direct to fan stream is like fan streaming, say off your website or off a landing page that doesn't involve a DSP. So that could be the future. You can spin up your own software using Claude AI, for example.
Wow.
Build your own little streaming portal and then advertise that. That could be the near future. I mean, that you can do now, but obviously about 85% of people don't really use a lot of the AI tools that are out there. So there's still a lot of people are entrenched in Spotify, for example. But I think that future is coming.
Yeah.
And if you're tech savvy, you're even better
But
positioned.
someone might say, oh yeah, but Spotify allows me to be discovered amongst the bigger artists on the, Sounds Like, or You May Also Like, or whatever feature. Obviously the direct to fan is great when maybe you already have quite an established pool. But let's say you're like a small band in the middle of a tiny village in Wales, and how do you build that 1,000
Well, we've all
fans?
got phones.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
I mean, we've got the internet.
What would you do? Okay, so I've set up, I'm a girl group of 3, we're 16, we live in North Wales, and where do I start?
Well, I mean, I think where the narrative has changed, the format's changed. It used to be you'd have an album, for example, that was your piece of work that you'd go to a label, the label promotes the album, you reach fans, etc. Now I think music has become part interactive with all types of content, whether that's TikTok dancing or it's on a Netflix show or it's in a game like Fortnite. It's become a part of the fabric of the internet. So if you're an artist, you need to be aware of like how is your music being distributed and is it reaching all these different types of content. And so that you can get yourself out there instead of just new song, new release, and looking at different ways to get your music aligned with other content.
It's true. Like your phone is your best tool basically, and I think if you're like you've got a band that's got a slightly edgy kind of sound, you can start to sort of dig around on the net and look at who might be your ideal fan and actually DM them and say, hey, you might like my next track. Obviously playing on your local venue is always quite handy because then you can build a bit of a local following, but you don't have to. You can do lives now, live performances online, build a nice little network like that. You might have small fans from all over the world. I think one thing actually this is probably a really good subject to talk about, and something actually that I discussed when I did my panel in India, is obviously the traditional forms of targeting people, like within marketing, was you kind of targeted people based on your geographics or your kind of likes or whatever. Now your fan could be anywhere, couldn't it? And it could be of any age, because music crosses multiple genres. And how is it that we connect with people now?
But that's also a problem, because if your fans are so spread out, how are you going to play a show to all of them?
And I think that's
especially when you're starting out. I mean, you're not, unless you're Taylor Swift or something and you can reach everyone anywhere in the world, then great. But when you're starting, how if you've got a fan in India, a fan in Russia, how are you going to go and do a show? So I think the targeting, like you say, needs to be quite strategic to begin with. For example, I think what's more important than ever is not just looking at the numbers on Spotify, but the engagement numbers. So who out of those streams are engaging with you and in what locations? And that's how you...
But nowadays, you can... It's funny because when you go as far as targeting, say you're trying to target your ideal fan or whatever, you might be now looking at... we used to target based on geographics, but we actually don't now. That the whole marketing sphere has shifted because people actually group like people based on their values. Okay, so you might align with an artist's values or like themes, song themes. That's how people are likely to get fans now. Apparently, fans aren't, because we don't attract fans on the old traditional way. That's it.
I think what we're really saying overall though is it's becoming more sophisticated in terms of targeting. And say, for example, if you're running ads, you want all this information in your ad funnel, because you want to have like-minded fans, like you mentioned, values. You want to know are the fans in a certain area? If you're doing a show, are they engaging with your content? Are they liking, sharing, etc.? Pulling all that data into your ad funnel so that you can actually sell tickets. You can get them to turn up to a show. And I think a lot of artists might shy away from the techie side of things, but the tech savvy ones are going to come through in the next,
you need to get like savvy with creating like a WhatsApp channel with all your fans. Like Lady Gaga has a WhatsApp channel with her fans. Basically, I think there's like 9 million on her thing. She's got a wait list. I think she's now got an offshoot WhatsApp group as well. And she just, obviously people can't reply. It's just one way messaging from her. So it saves but I think some of them, allow their fans to actually write in what their thoughts and feelings are. But yeah, so there's launch a WhatsApp channel with your fans. Apparently that's going to be the new thing. Discord as well. That's going to be the next thing. Well, I mean, people are doing it already, but.
Just a bit of a shameless plug as well. We also have an exciting tool coming out called the Fan Finder, which will help you find your fans based on engagement metrics.
Okay.
And that will help you create, say, a Discord or a WhatsApp group or whatever group you want to build an actual real community.
Yeah.
And I think this gets missed a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You might know people at your gig and things like that, but what a great way to bring everyone together and actually build this community of 1,000 fans.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we've talked enough on that one, or is there more to talk about on that one? That's everything. I think hopefully I'd love to know what people's opinions are of that, because obviously, like we said, it probably is getting harder now because we are so globalized. If that, we are able to pick up fans from the four corners of the world, whereas a few years back, even 10 years ago, we probably gained more. You're more likely to have picked up fans locally.
Yeah.
So it is hard to do those live local shows and fill up the room, because you might have fans in Poland now, because the internet has made it so easy for someone to get really connect with you on multiple levels, and we're able to have that two-way conversation now with our fans, aren't we?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it as well. So people can really feel like they have this sort of connection with you, and they may be living in South Korea, you know, and but they just love your attitude and your values and everything your music stands for, and your look and the way you vibe yourself and stuff, and they've created like these super fans. So I think there's something to get really behind, I think.
Definitely. And also just a little bit more on the tech is the AI agents that are out there at the moment. You could even unleash an AI agent on your channels and then ask it to tell you who your fans are.
Yeah.
This kind of thing is all there, and it's coming, and artists should take advantage of it, because it's an extremely powerful way to know who your fans are and to to help you engage with them, and so you can actually create a career.
And if you're tapping, say if you're on holiday in a random city, and you're like, I want to know if I can pick up some fans in this city, you can use lots of like algorithms and sophisticated ways of using AI to see who might be aligned with your kind of your artistry, basically. So you might be going to Warsaw this weekend, so you were like, right, okay, I'll see if I can meet five potential new fans for a coffee in this coffee shop. I'm going to be there at 3 p.m. and see who rocks up, basically. That could be quite fun. So, I mean, that's the thing. The internet's allowed us to do all these cool things, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think that's the thing. And it might feel overwhelming sometimes, and you might feel you're up against it, but really there's more opportunity than ever now.
Yeah.
To really use these tools to your advantage and actually make a successful career in the music industry. Don't give up.
No.
It's the opportunity is really there. And not only that, people are craving the live experience more than ever now, that human to human connection.
Yeah.
Especially in the backdrop of what's going on. So we need that our artists to come through and really build that humanity back.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's a really good subject, and we'd like to know people's thoughts and opinions on that. We probably will keep talking about this, because it's I think it's quite a good one to keep talking about, basically. So please comment, like, share this particular YouTube, because we'd like to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Obviously, we picked up, so just to sort of wrap up the podcast, we touched a bit about direct to fan, and think maybe we probably need to deep dive a bit more into that. Do you want to talk about that a bit more,
I mean,
Adam?
you know, obviously we mentioned the thing with AI and building up your own streaming platforms and gateways and like that. But obviously, as you know, there's Patreon and Bandcamp. I on the likes of Spotify
What is Patreon?
distribution.
I always hear Patreon.
So it's a way you can donate to your favorite artists to help them,
Keep them,
support them.
finance them.
And you can, they're normally done on YouTube a lot of the time you see them, but you can do them in other places. And it's a way to foster that relationship with the artists, to help them grow and to
basically you're
them.
funding them to be able to be a sort of full-time artist, basically.
And in exchange,
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and they can sell merch on there. In exchange, they can offer exclusive shows and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, interesting story actually. We were in North Wales last summer and we were in an artisan beer shop, and the owner of the beer shop actually said she was a massive super fan of Ren and was a patron as well for him.
Yeah.
And was so passionate about that and donating and supporting his career. So you know, you don't need to be of a certain size to be able to set up a Patreon. You can literally do it even if you have 2 fans.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about this direct fan model. How do we start to build it? What's the first thing you might do as an independent artist to really start to build the way for this direct fan model?
Yeah, figure out what value you can offer your fans that is a little bit interesting. Like maybe you want to offer them an opportunity to meet you backstage, or you want to offer exclusive access to lyrics, certain lyrics that you've written, or certain works of art that you haven't released, and you can share that with them. You could have like a kind of a private Discord or a private sort of session with the artist on songwriting, for example, or you know, you could make playlists for your fans, etc., that kind of thing. There's lots of different ways you can exchange value, and I think that's where artists can sometimes overlook those things. They can just go, I've got a new song, listen to it. Whereas I think you need to get creative about what you can bring to the fans and allow them into your world and allow them to contribute.
I know, like, so I found a duo we work very closely with. It's actually one of our first sort of signed artists at Liberty, is Outpost Drive. Amazing duo, check them out. I noticed that Mary, so she was basically, she did Smart the other day, and she put it on her stories and said, look, I've got some fan art that I'm going to send out. And she sold all 10 pieces within an hour. So that's her direct to fan connection. Isn't it?
And it's generating funds. And also, people want that more than ever, that authentic piece of art, because there's so much that's mass produced and you can get on Amazon and it doesn't really have much value. But that thing that's been created by an artist with their hands, or with their in a studio, whatever it is, right? That's so valuable.
And everyone, like, it can be random. Like, you might be really good at knitting and you just so happen to make a load of woolly scarves around Christmas, winter, and you can just sell that out. You might be really good at tapestry. Like, people just like random shit and will buy random crap. Like, you may be good at baking and you've baked a batch of hot cross buns and it's almost Easter, and you can send them out in a cute little box. I think everyone wants that.
And you're seeing it more and more with like vinyl, like the sign thing. I was signing every single vinyl. You see that more with artists.
And there's a letter inside each of them, handwritten.
Handwritten letter. I think that's what, again, it goes back to the authenticity. It's all the uniqueness and scarcity. Because in this age of abundance where everything is just one click away, we're wanting things that are scarce more than ever. And
direct to fan is going to be the buzzwords of the next, I'd say, decade, basically. And I think we're moving away from that scattergun approach. Like, I just want 100,000 streams on Spotify. I don't care who they are. I just want that. We're moving away from that. And you'll be way cooler than that person that's got millions of streams, that has no one, that they don't know any of those people that are streaming, and they have no idea who their fan is. You will be so much more valuable with just 100 fans.
And even creating things in metaverses, like you see it on Roblox. There's like merch and things like that being created and sold for Roblox, and then converted to money later. So you can the possibilities are endless, and I think that's where the art.
Create Roblox characters in your band. Could you be a band running around? Who knows? I mean, metaverse is a whole nother subject and episode, I'd say. But just think of it this way: if you create 10 new fans a week, and I know that's quite hard, so let's say 10 new fans a week, within 2 years you'll have 1,000 fans, pretty much. Okay, so 40, 10, 400, like within 2 years you'll have about 1,000 fans. 10 new fans a week, just like slowly target them. You always have to be a bit of a salesperson in kind of focusing and targeting that person and bringing them into your world. Okay, and then once you start, like almost challenge yourself to see if you can do it. You might just get 10, it might be 10 a month at first. It might be really hard to get 10 a week.
Yeah.
Once you get that ball rolling and your confidence starts to grow,
it starts to compound over time.
I think you'll get more and more and more.
I think what artists need to give up on the idea of, I've got a new album, oh, the world doesn't care, I'll give up. And you see this a lot, and it's quite sad because they're just beginning the journey.
Yeah.
And you've got to build it fan by fan.
Just basically, write this album, chuck it out.
They're expecting virality.
And no one's caught it, and it's just fallen on the floor.
The viral stuff.
Such a shame.
The viral stuff is kind of fading to nothing. I mean, like, okay, you might go viral, like you might, but is it worth betting your whole career on a lottery?
Nah.
Like, or do you want to build this in a sustainable way and actually build a foundation?
Maybe we should sell How to Build 1,000 Fans as a like lovely little package.
Well, we're here to help you, so call us anytime.
We are selling that. That's exactly what we're doing.
But like, you know, aside from that, obviously, we're here to try and support. And even if you want a free consultation, just call or chat to one of the A&Rs.
We're literally info@libertymusicpr.com.
It doesn't cost you anything. You can talk with them. And
they love chatting. They love chatting about music, strategy, planning, execution, everything.
Yeah,
they'll even go through your tracks to tell you their favourite ones.
Yeah. And if you want, you know, indiscreet suggestions and things for releases, you don't know which release to start with, more than happy to advise on that as well. So. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you really enjoyed this episode. I know that we've talked about some really meaty topics in this episode. So like, subscribe, follow, share, you know, comment. If you think it's crap, say it's crap. You know, hopefully you're not. You're going to say how much you love it. And we'll be back with the next episode in the next couple of weeks. Cool.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.